transmitter being the left and another one being the right. Right, left. They also have a mono mode which can still be useful. I will show you in the setup part. They have a pretty good transmission range, even though I thought that you will need to be at 250 meters of your camera, but who knows. They both have a low cut filter, but frankly I didn't really hear the difference between on and off, even with my computer on. And you can plug a lavalier mic to each transmitter if you need to. Regarding compatibility, they have everything you need. They are compatible with DSLR camera, iPhone, Android, PC. They are delivered with every cable you need, and they are furry windscreens, which is very useful. You can monitor the audio with the receiver, or you can plug headphones to directly monitor the audio. They both have a status indicator LED on each transmitter with adjustable brightness, which is good. You can wear them with a clip or with a magnet. They both have an OLED touchscreen on the receiver. And last but not least, you can record directly on the transmitter, which means you don't have to connect the mics to anything if you don't want to. You can just hit the record button on the mic and record with your phone or your camera separately. It's very useful to record on the transmitter on top of recording with your phone or your camera, because this way, if there's any issue with the recording, you still have your safety track in the transmitter. Now let's get into the specifics of each mic. They both cost me around 250 euros, but the Holyland is priced at 320 euros on Amazon. The Holyland transmitter has a better battery life than the DJI one, and with a 2 hours difference it could be something to take into account. However, it's good to keep in mind that they both charge from their case. I feel like the Holyland has a pure and neutral sound, as you can hear. Testing the Holyland mic, whereas the DJI has a less pure but very cozy sound. Testing the DJI mic. Now for the pros and cons of each mic. The Holyland has a wheel on the receiver, making it easier to manipulate it. Whereas the DJI only has a tactile screen. You often misclick on stuff because the screen is so small, even with small fingers like me. However, you will most likely be touching this screen only once when you set up everything for the first time, and then you will leave it alone. The Holyland comes with a case for the case, meaning you have a first case for the transmitters and the receiver, and then a second case for this case and the cables and the fluffy windscreen, which is very useful. Sadly, the DJI only comes with the first case, so you will need to store and transport the this is the